Hope is huge. I lost hope for a while there, and that's really hard when you lose hope. But the hopeful part is that it's kind of within you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
what's within you?
Hope. So
Okay.
it doesn't have to come from anything else. It's inside of you. And hope can change your life.
How'd you find it?
That's a really hard question.
Hey y'all, put on your boots, grab your headphones, and let's get a little muddy.
As we build a community rooted in the love of dirt roads, whether dust or mud.
Welcome to the Dust or Mud Podcast. Well, hi everyone. Welcome to episode 13 of the Dust or Mud Podcast.
Woo-hoo.
And if you didn't notice, if you're viewing this on the YouTube, we are in a different location.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So after a few weeks of, 12, I guess it was, of standing at our bar, it got a little uncomfortable. We got tired of all of the sound equipment and lighting equipment and stuff being in the main part of our house. So we decided to take our spare room and turn it into a permanent spot for our podcast studio.
Yeah, I like it. It's comfortable.
Yeah. What do you think, Beck?
Very nice. Very nice.
I think it's going to work out. That way we don't have to set up everything. If you're listening to this and you want to know where we're sitting, go to YouTube. But last week we had the joy of talking to our youngest daughter, Michaela, about her homeschooling adventure.
Yeah. She did a great job.
Yeah.
The thing that you may not know is that we really didn't coach her. She just did it. Yeah. I mean, we talked to her. I sat down and talked to her just a little bit about the types of questions we would ask her, and just sort of coached her a little on, hey, if we ask you a bad question, please bail us out, kind of thing. You know, if we ask you a yes or no question, please don't just say yes. Just keep giving some information. So that was about the extent of the coaching. And man, did she turn the tables on me that one time when she was like, so Dad, how do you feel about blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, hang on a minute. I'm supposed to be the one asking the questions here. I wasn't ready for this.
It caught you way off guard.
She did a great job.
She did a really good job. For 11 years old, she handled her stuff really well.
Yeah.
And I think she might have a future in YouTube.
Yeah.
She's a cool kid, for sure.
I know. Yeah, she did amazing. Yeah. So, it was really, really fun. If you're interested in homeschooling and want to hear the story and experiences of someone who lives it and has lived it, check out that episode.
Yeah.
So today's special guest is our oldest daughter, Rebekah. Hi, Rebekah.
Hi, guys.
So Rebekah is now a Missourian.
Yes.
Right? And she is living here on the farm with us at Air to Ground Farms.
Yep.
Yes.
She farms a lot.
Yes.
I was almost about to say full time, but that's not the case much anymore. We'll get to that though.
Yeah.
Let's see. So today we're going to dive into your story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll start not all the way at the beginning. You know, we'll go back to basically military brat type of days, and I think by the end of it, we're going to find a message of hope. Yeah. So that's what you can expect out of this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Farm update. Rebekah, do you farm?
Yes.
Do you have any updates from this morning? Was there anything?
There was a duck out. We put the duck back in.
Fairly standard.
Other than that, everything was super smooth. Everybody's really good. The pigs were real hungry, but that's not...
Pigs were hungry?
Oh, yeah. Yep, it was a good farming morning for sure.
So this week...
we processed our birds. We had
almost 100.
Yeah, an entire batch of beef chickens that were ready for processing, plus some that we had held to grow out a little bit more to cut up into parts and pieces.
Yeah.
So we were able to do that. We worked on that Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of last week. We had help. Mrs. Auntie Fiat.
Mrs. Auntie Fiat, we thank you.
Thank you so much for your help. And then my mom and dad came over and helped also. So the additional help was huge for getting everything done. So we put, I think we calculated just under right at 400 pounds of chicken into the freezer.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, it was a good week. Really good.
So that was not our chicken for folks. That chicken all went in bagged, processed, labeled. We weighed it, marked it, and that is all for sale.
Yeah.
So those folks in the state of Missouri, we sell that chicken to them, frozen whole birds and now frozen cuts.
Yeah.
Next time, that's our chicken.
The next batch.
The batch, which we will process.
That's another part of the update.
Right.
Once those beef chickens moved out of the chicken tractor, we were able to take the chicks out of the big brooder, the beef chicks, out of the big brooder and put them into the chicken tractor now. We got the chicken tractor moved back up. We start them near the
big poultry shift.
Yeah, we start them near the dogs when they're little. That's better for predators and such. So we moved the tractor back up the pasture, and so got those guys moved out of the brooder onto the pasture, which freed up the big brooder and allowed us to move the layer chicks out of they were in a couple of smaller brooders. They moved out into the big brooder, and that leads us to where we are today with the chickens. I believe we're going to probably as soon as we're finished recording, we're going to move
when it stops raining,
the layer chicks. Yeah, we'll move the layer chicks out of the brooder. We have an area set up for them to go start living their life outside on the farm.
Yay!
Yeah,
out of the garage or
good.
the barn, I guess.
It's always good whenever you get them on pasture.
Yeah.
That's real fun. They like that a lot.
They do.
Yeah.
We like that.
Yeah.
Seeing them get on out to where they belong, out of confinement.
Yeah.
Ish. Another bit of a farm update is our sales are up. Like, we farm for us, and we also farm in order to keep everything going. We farm as a direct to consumer business. And when you build a direct to consumer food, especially meat business, it takes a minute to get things rolling and to gain those loyal customers. But man, it's really picked up this year, and things are on the uptick as far as sales are concerned.
Yeah.
For the farm itself.
Really well.
As long as we keep selling meat, we get to keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
For other people.
Yeah.
So super encouraging, in that department.
And we're going into winter with full freezers.
That's awesome.
So we won't be processing as much. We still have one more batch of lambs that we will take to the processor, but outside of that, really, for as far as farm sales go, that batch of lambs, outside of that, the freezers are full and ready for winter.
Slam full. Yeah. Yes. And speaking of winter, so we sell our product right now solely, well, not solely, but one of the primary places on Saturdays at the Ava Farmers Market. And that has just really it's been super awesome. It's been a huge blessing for us. And it's coming to an end next week. Yeah. And it's kind of bittersweet.
Yeah.
But it's sweet because we could use a rest. And it's bitter because, first of all, we don't get to see all of our customers that we enjoy seeing every week. And it's going to be more difficult to get the things that they want into their hands. So we came up with a plan.
Yeah. And before the plan, it's not just customers. They're really becoming friends.
They are.
We look forward to seeing
I should have said it that way.
By. And even when they don't, or if they don't buy anything, just the standing there and talking is, at least for me, surprisingly, a very enjoyable part of my farming life, which is neat. So the where we're going in the future is we're going to start a Saturday morning drop site at the Ava Town Square.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this and you live in the area, please get on the website, text us, call us, make an order, and we will make sure that you get everything that you need all winter long. packaged up, custom order, delivered to your normal place that you like to pick it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's going to work out great.
I hope so.
Yeah, I do too. I
Yeah.
really do. I just want people to keep getting the things that they want and need for their freezers and their families and their table
Yeah.
all winter.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Since we grow something that we can do that.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to with cucumbers.
Right.
I get that. Okay. Well, I think that's kind of the farm
There
update.
we go.
This room is fascinating.
Farm
It's
update's
super
closed.
cool.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, farm update. Done. Check, check. Okay. Off we go. Back.
Yeah.
So let's dive in.
Okay.
You grew up a military brat.
Yes.
Pretty
Yeah.
much your entire existence that you have real memory of.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
So you were 3 when we joined the Air Force.
Mhm.
So just wanted to talk briefly about that experience, how you felt as a military brat. I know it's a at least from what I think, it's a part of a person's identity. Definitely
for sure.
as a kid growing up,
For
being that puts you in a different category, especially from most of the folks around here
sure.
who grow up in a small town. And your
That was
mom and
us,
I
yeah.
understand that completely because we grew up in a small town, and the feel you make friends in kindergarten or preschool, and those are your friends throughout the rest of your life, really. And
Yeah.
that's just our growing up was a bit different than your growing up. So we were hoping that maybe you would talk a little bit just, about that as a foundational part of your who you are and your being and your nest. So military
Yeah.
brat.
Yeah, so being a military brat was super fun. Actually, we got to do a lot of traveling, got to see a lot of different cultures.
Yeah.
And I think that the biggest thing that it's given me is adaptability, because you're taken from one location, friend group, school, put into another place, don't always know where you're going, and you have to adapt. And so it's given me a lot of life skills in that way, and the ease of making friends, because you have to be able to make friends quickly because you don't know how long you're going to be there.
Yeah.
And to kind of be able to fit in wherever you're placed,
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a kid, you mentioned travel. Are there any travel locations or experiences that stand out to you?
Yes, we went to Morocco and stayed in Spain.
Yeah.
We went to Ireland. We have traveled all over, really. Did a lot of England. We were going pretty much every weekend somewhere.
Right.
So, yeah, just lots of places.
So what was your favorite?
Oh, gosh. That time that we stayed in the villa in Spain was really fun with all of our friends, and
Yes,
that
it
was a good one.
That one was epic.
Yeah, we were able to get together with a few other couples and families and rented out an entire villa. We got enough of us together that the price point came down enough that we were
We had
able
our
to-
own private swimming pool.
Yeah, 2 different
Two.
pools.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, it was huge.
It was nice.
It was really nice.
It was
And it was
awesome.
just, it was an epic, I think it was a spring break.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one was good.
that was a good
Not
trip.
on the Mediterranean, but very near.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
cool.
It was like we had our own hotel just for our own
It
people.
was.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That one
It
was
was
a good
huge.
one.
That was a good one.
Good.
Yeah.
Least favorite situation? Experience?
The time that I loved our trip to Ireland, but let me just paint a picture for you. So we show up to a hostel. You know where I'm going with this one.
Okay, go ahead.
So we show up to a hostel, and you would think like you're staying in a place they may have towels for you to shower with. Well, no, they didn't. And there was nowhere nearby. I guess Ireland doesn't sell towels. And so we got some dish towels and showered and dried off with our dish towels in the hostel.
We did
That's true.
because, yeah, because your parents
because Americans don't understand hostels,
Hostel.
I think.
No, we did not. No.
We didn't understand you should
No.
probably pack your own sheets and towels.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's barely space to stay, and you shouldn't probably take a whole family there. We learned that, but hey, experiences.
Oh, yeah, it was a
that
great
wasn't my
experience.
favorite either experience. Yeah, but I did keep those dish towels
Oh,
for a
yes,
really
you
long
did.
time.
Yeah.
They're really good, very absorbent. A lot of great memories.
It doesn't take many, actually, to dry off.
Oh, right. Many dish towels to dry your body. No, who would think that you can't find a bath towel or even a beach towel of any sort in the little towns in Ireland? We were flabbergasted.
It wasn't towel season.
I guess not. Europe is so different with their stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you
Remember the time
when we tried to buy a fan?
Well, we needed a fan for our bedroom when we first moved to
Yeah.
England because it was so cricket quiet. And we were
It was like November.
oh, and it was November. And we needed a fan to make noise because we didn't have phones that did this at the time. Make your little app noises. That didn't exist. And we were looking for a fan. They were like, oh, right, sorry. No,
Fans are for the summer.
fans are for the summertime. they're in a.
We did find a
It's
bits
not
and
fan season.
we found a Bits and Bob's store,
That's
and they
right.
went into their attic
And found us a
and
fan.
found us a fan.
They
So
felt that bad for
They
us.
felt that bad for us. They were able to find one, so they do exist. They're just put away.
Why didn't we just go to the BX and look for a box fan at the BX?
Yeah, well, they didn't have any.
Oh, England was fresh out of
It
fans.
wasn't fan
Almost.
season.
We got the last fan in England that year. Oh
So-
my goodness!
so it
Yes,
must not
those
have
stories.
Been, must not have been towel season in Ireland when we were at the hostel.
So, all right, that makes sense. You also lived in Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an interesting time.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that was interesting for everyone. We don't
Yeah.
have to go into all that.
Nope.
So, at one point, we lived at Maxwell Air Force Base in Montgomery
Yes.
for your pretty much last bit of high school.
Mhm.
You were at one of the high schools near there, and kind of wound up staying there
Yeah.
in that area.
I did. Yeah. So I stayed for a couple years after that, got married. And then he joined the Air Force and we moved to Washington State.
To the great city of Spokane.
Spokane, yes.
So why did he join the Air Force? So you skipped
Kinda.
a lot of stuff right in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we can dive into just a little
Just
bit.
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, just for a good stable job.
Mhm.
We were married for a year before he joined the Air Force, and we had a hard time keeping jobs at that time. It was just really challenging time. And so it seemed like a good source of income with good benefits and yeah, so
So a lot of military brats are in the, at least what you hear about is in the no way, never will I ever be associated with the military again.
mhm.
And that didn't happen for our family, which is a little bit
No.
a little bit strange.
Yeah.
Because growing up, no one had any kind of inkling. All of you girls, when asked what you would do when you wanted to grow up, no one talked about the military.
Right.
So you were influential, I believe, at least in him joining the Air Force.
Mhm.
Like, what happened for you to make it an okay thing, like, and not be the standard, I don't want anything to do with the military?
Well, I think it was just a really good experience for me, and it was a really stable environment. And I think at that time we were lacking stability. And so I knew that that was a safe, stable place.
That seems like an oxymoron to have said, I'm very adaptable because I
Mm.
move around a lot and I don't know how long I'm going to be at a place and I can
Mhm.
make friends quickly.
Yeah.
So you just explained that, but then you said it was stable. So
Yeah.
help folks like
So
tie those together.
the stability, so there is the adaptability with the moving and your direct environment. But then there's the stability of your community and your job and insurance and the things that you rely on. You're going to have a roof over your head. You're not, going without because you have a steady paycheck.
Got it. Yeah,
Mhm.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. So you influential in the path to get into the military.
Mm-hmm.
Any challenges making that happen, like getting everything going in that military direction?
A little bit, but we overcame.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
cool. So life at Fairchild.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we would go out camping pretty much every weekend. We would had a lot of good friends. That was
Yeah.
really fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Okay.
So
What?
for me,
Oh.
Fairchild was not that experience. That's where survival, evasion, resistance, and escape training, SEER training is for the Air
Mhm.
Force. And man, I remember the first time we went and visited you. We drove over to the SEER area, and I broke out in sweats. Man.
Yes, you did.
So Fairchild was not
It
that
was-
experience for me.
Yeah.
It was very influential
Yes.
for you.
Yes.
It had a lot of impact.
A lasting.
A lasting
impact.
lasting impact.
I think I would
they
still
call
break
that
out in sweats.
PTSD.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a little deeper into Spokane,
Mhm.
you worked in a hospital.
Yes.
You wound up finding a job because you had worked in a hospital previously in
Mhm.
Florida. You really enjoyed that and kind of were headed down the path of being in healthcare administration.
Yes.
So what did you do when you were working there at that very large hospital?
Yeah. So at first I started off in registration, which is what I had done previously. And then I worked my way into financial counseling, which was like helping get insurance and financial assistance for people who were underinsured or uninsured, helping them get the treatments and care that they needed to
that's a huge
live a good
role.
life. Yeah.
That's a huge
Mhm.
role. A big impact on the recipient on the other
Mhm.
end.
It was an amazing job. I loved it.
The
Yeah.
opportunity to what were just like one scenario of what that type of job. What did you experience?
So like people would come in for an emergency or like a baby would be born and be sent to our NICU unit and have to receive a new heart, right?
Oh, that's
And
expensive.
then they don't have any insurance, and then we were able to get them insurance and then get the rest that wasn't covered by insurance covered by financial assistance, because where I worked was a nonprofit hospital and they were able to give money
Okay.
to the patients.
It seems like potentially some stress in that job.
It was very stressful. Yeah.
How come?
Because you want everyone to be well,
Yeah,
Mm,
and that's not always the case.
got it.
mm.
Hmm.
So you were working at that hospital
Hmm.
and bebopping yourself around one day,
Yes.
right? And talk to us about that one day.
Yeah. So I was going to go help someone in the emergency room who was uninsured, and I took the stairs because I always took the stairs
Because it's better
because
for
it's
you.
better for you.
You gotta take the
You gotta be
stairs.
healthy. Take
That's
the
right,
stairs.
Right.
And I tripped at the very top of the step, and my feet caught one another, and I went over. Kind of didn't hit any steps on the way down, just kind of went over and landed at the bottom of the landing on my head on concrete. And got a traumatic brain injury.
And life changed.
Life changed a lot. Yeah. So I spent about a year in outpatient rehab. Almost every day, going to some sort of therapy or another, trying to regain my life.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you had, wasn't it front, back, front?
Mm-hmm.
So you had brain bleed on the front and on the
Mhm.
back, and the vestibular therapy,
Yep. That was
the
huge.
ocular therapy.
Mm-hmm.
To talk to us about some of the effects. Like
Yeah.
what
Um,
happened?
So it would make me very dizzy.
Mhm.
Just to do anything, to roll over in bed, I would want to throw up. I had intense migraines, super intense migraines. My vision was tunnel vision. I lost my taste for about 2 years in my saliva. I was very off balance. I couldn't really walk. I couldn't go into a store. I couldn't drive.
Yeah, you lost your license for a year,
I
right?
lost my license for a year.
Yeah.
Yep. And I couldn't really read.
And you were in college at the
I
time.
was in college at the time.
And you managed to finish the classes somehow or another that you were
Yep.
in.
But I did not finish. I didn't go back the next term.
Right.
Yeah.
It just wasn't possible.
No, not at all. Yep. And so I did occupational therapy, relearning motor skills because my reaction times were super, super slow. I did vision therapy. I did physical therapy, massage therapy. I was in a C-collar for about a month because I hurt my neck and my back had a back brace too. Yep.
It was a heck of a fall.
Yes, it was.
Yep. And how many years was that? What year was that happened?
2018.
18?
October of 18.
Wow. Yeah.
So what did that mean for your job that you enjoyed?
I didn't go back. Yeah.
Never went back. You were on long-term disability, short-term disability.
Thankfully, I had paid into some disability insurance, so that helped a lot along the way.
Yeah.
And you never know when something like that's going to happen. So that's what you pay into those insurances for, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Yep.
So that was literally life-altering.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. And I struggled a lot with mental health afterwards, too, because I felt like I lost my worth. And that was a real struggle.
Because part of that, you were headed towards, I want to run my own hospital.
Yes,
I want to be the president
yes.
of the hospital.
And I had about one semester left for my bachelor's degree.
And you were even talking about, I can go and get my PhD in healthcare administration and do this.
Yeah.
And you had every bit of all of the things in a row to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And then you didn't, then it was just not going to happen.
Correct. Yep.
So in the just mental turmoil on, I'm not even that person anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Had to re-identify myself. Yep.
And that, you can't do that overnight.
No.
That's a long road.
It took a while. Yeah.
So during that time, you fought depression.
Yes. Yep.
There were even some times when you had to be institutionalized because it was so bad.
Yeah, it was very severe. Yeah, I spent a couple weeks at a time in and out of hospitals for about 2 years.
Yeah.
Yep. I didn't want to live, and that was a hard place to be. And I wound up getting on a lot of medications, which was really hard on my body, but necessary probably at the time. Probably not to the extent that they medicated me, but that was rough, and it took a toll on my marriage, and it was rough.
So during that period of time, you just said took a toll on my marriage, but during that period of time, in and out of mental health struggles, ups and downs, in and out. He was your support system, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Came home from a deployment and started taking you to all of the appointments, making sure that was...
Oh, yeah.
That you were...
He did great.
Yeah, in that aspect. But things like this, traumatic events in our lives across the board can take a toll on relationships.
Yeah.
It really does.
Do you feel like there was a transition there of maybe that started the decline of the relationship, that where he maybe went from being a spouse to more of a caregiver or parent, and then that never really seemed to go away?
I think that's true. Yeah, I don't know the turning point, but yeah,
Mm. I don't know that that's uncommon
yeah,
when people are thrown into those types of roles
Yeah.
unexpectedly, that they step up and then don't quite know when to step down.
yeah.
Mm. So as you navigated your mental health,
Hmm.
you guys moved
Yes.
away from there.
Yep.
You were there for 6 years in Spokane. So all of this all during this time, we're talking about you're still living in Spokane,
Hmm.
way away from all friends, family. I mean, you had your own friends
Yeah.
there, but you were away from family, far away. Your dad was
Hmm.
still in the Air Force at the time. But I had Michaela. So we were like not even very helpful because
Hmm.
he was doing his thing. I couldn't just dump and run
Right.
because we were not empty nesters. We had also another child. And so you guys were doing your thing.
Yeah.
Uh, and you guys, then we were kind of seeing maybe something else needs to happen. And you guys were able to move closer to us.
Yes.
And you moved to Maryland
Hmm.
to be stationed near Andrews. And that was kind of good, getting
Yeah.
closer to family
Yeah.
to
For
help
sure.
your mental state and
Hmm.
help support him
Right.
in supporting you.
Yes.
Uh, you were there for a couple of years.
Hmm.
We were there and then we left.
Hmm.
And that wasn't probably very helpful.
No.
But what we didn't know was we were going to the Ozarks,
Heck yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What we didn't know was, so were you.
Yes. Nobody knew, huh?
No, we didn't. Um,
So somewhere in there, you had a bit of a food struggle as well, right?
mm,
Talk us through that? Like, when did that start? How bad did that get? What were your thoughts, feelings? What happened there with
your
food?
relationships with food over
Oh,
time.
yeah, my
Yeah, in
relationship with
that,
food.
all of that.
Um, so when I lost my taste, I didn't really like to eat very much, which was kind of understandable. And I was vegan at the time, so I really didn't eat very much at all. I got super skinny. And then whenever I was on all those medications, I gained a lot of weight, and I was not eating healthy at all because I got so thin that
Well, you were like a zero, weren't you?
yeah, I got super, super thin. And then I was
But
like,
not healthy then.
not healthy thin. No. And then I kind of just said, forget it. If I can't be vegan, because I was told that I couldn't be vegan, then what's the point in eating healthy at all? And I didn't find a balance. I kind of went off a little bit and was eating a lot of fast food and got super unhealthy, gained about 100 pounds, was very overweight. I had high blood pressure and prediabetes, and was just super unhealthy.
Do you think that contributed at all to some of the mental health
I
things? Were they
do.
like going hand in hand?
Mm-hmm.
Was
For
one
sure.
causing the other, or do you think they just sort of fed off of each
I
other?
think it fed off of each other in a bad sort of spiral.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Mm. And you were somebody who was always, I mean, you ran cross country.
Yeah.
You were always athletic. You were
Mm-hmm.
fit. You were super into being healthy.
Oh, yeah. Pretty much
That
always, except for just about 2 years.
so that a lot of that, and with the mental health struggles and the food, the relationship with the food, the incongruency.
Right. Which was a struggle as well.
Your values say
Mm-hmm.
one thing and you're doing another thing.
Yeah.
And that incongruency between what our values are and who we really are and what we're doing
Mm-hmm.
causes some serious turmoil
It does. Yeah. For
That is
sure.
cognitive dissonance, right?
Yeah.
at its
When I
finest.
when I believe one thing but am doing something else.
Yeah. And I
Right.
think that probably made it worse too.
And from a mental health perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
And so after we had left, when you were in Maryland now alone,
Mm-hmm.
mental health issues and struggles continue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they continued and got quite a bit worse. And then um, my marriage got real bad, and I decided to leave.
So there was
It was a moment.
there was a moment.
Mm-hmm.
There was a phone call, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
and I said something to you that really pissed you off.
Yeah, you said you must like it. And I did not. So I decided
Well, it
to
kind
go.
of it snapped you. Like,
Yeah.
wait a minute. Of course I don't like it.
Yeah.
And I think his point was you must like it, or you would leave
Yeah.
the situation.
Yeah.
And that's hard.
Mm. It was the hardest thing that I've ever done.
No doubt.
By far.
Mm-hmm.
The hardest thing I've ever done. Yeah.
So there are some folks that talk about motivation.
Mm-hmm.
Like most recently listened to Alex Hormozy talk about it and the fact that not all motivation is positive motivation. So
Right.
something that really angers you can be motivation also.
Yeah.
So use that anger.
Talk a little bit about if that was the hardest thing you've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
Take some moments and talk us through how you were able to do it then. Like, how do you go from I'm here to I'm now deciding to leave? Like the thought process, the physical processes, like what actually happened to allow you to do that hardest thing you've ever done?
Family support. I was told that I had a place to go. I was able to utilize a vehicle. My ex-spouse helped me pack. Like, we made that decision that it was probably best for both of us, really, if we kind of went our separate ways, because it was pretty toxic at that time. And the family support that I had was just absolutely incredible. Everyone was there for me and really made it smooth.
Not easy.
Not easy, but it went smoothly. Yeah.
And that began your transition to the Ozarks.
It did. So I got here almost a year and a half ago. And at that time, I was about 100 pounds overweight and very miserable. And these hills, guys, let me tell you, 100 pounds overweight, having not worked out in a long time, walking up and down these hills, whoop you in shape real quick. Like,
we're gonna move sheep.
Oh, God.
Oh, you were slow.
I know.
You couldn't hardly lift your leg up to get over the net, you know?
Yeah. And now I can I don't even have to push the fence down. Just hold the bucket and
lift it up
windmill over it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you had to like push the
net down and help you over.
Yeah.
Patience was what was
you guys had so much patience with me. But I kept showing up.
You did. And that makes it really easy for these supporters in any situation. When you're supporting someone and you see the potential of what can be, if they keep showing up for themselves every day and making, even if it's the smallest little bit of percent of progress, getting up, we're going to do this, just getting up.
Right.
And when you keep showing up, man, that makes it easy. Like, we're going to do this again tomorrow. And patience is hard.
Yeah.
Because you see the hope.
Right.
I see what can be. This is not difficult for me.
Right.
And it seemed at least that you found drive or a place, or describe it, what farming did for you there.
Oh, the peace in my soul was intense. And there's a different kind of tired. Like, I've worked all day and I'm tired because I need peace. And the farming and the being with the animals and being around my family and having support all put me at peace. And so in that peaceful place, I was able to show up for myself every single day so that I could show up for the people around me and just make some serious moves in life.
And it seemed to happen quickly to me, at
Yeah, it
least.
did. Seemed that way to me too.
Yeah. Yeah, I just had a serious mindset shift that I'm going to show up every single day. Every day.
And when you showed up, though, you were on a lot of medicines.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Like
I
a
was-
lot. Like, hello, is anybody home?
Yeah.
Almost like a walking zombie.
Yeah.
I was really sedated. I had doctor's care,
Mhm.
and slowly, with doctors helping me, came down off of all of those medications, except for one. I still have one medication,
Yeah.
but
So I remember that doctor telling you after
Mhm.
you were what you were doing, where you were, what you had done, the decisions you had made, the environment that you're now in, and he told you before he was walking you down,
Mhm.
but before you got to like almost nothing, he told you what do you remember what he told you about there's nothing?
There is no medication that I can prescribe you that is going to help you as much as all of these lifestyle changes you've made.
And one of those had to do with food also, right?
Yes, so I adopted a ketogenic, grain-free diet.
Sugar-free.
Sugar-free. Yep.
And you're still
Yes.
sugar-free,
Yes.
grain-free?
Yes. For about a year and a half now. Yep. And I've lost 90 pounds. Yep. Got my...
And was it hard?
No.
So talk to us about the restrictive diet and massive amounts of exercise that it took to lose the 90
Right.
pounds.
So I eat as much as I want within the guidelines. And this is the healthiest relationship with food that I've ever had, because the meat I'm eating comes from a sustainable, humane source here at the farm. And I've kind of struggled with my food throughout my life, like what's the best way to be. And I just want to make good decisions. And this has allowed me space to not feel hungry all the time. And it's just like I'm always satisfied.
So
Like
we'll chase a rabbit just a little bit
Yeah.
on that. When you say I've always struggled with food,
hmm
the issues you were having with it was how the animals were raised and treated and such, right?
Yeah,
And
since I was small.
something about being here
hmm
changed that for you. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so just how nicely the animals are raised. And I know they have a good life. And it's the treatment of the animals while they're alive that was what really was getting to me, not necessarily the fact that they become food. That wasn't what bothered me so much as just inhumane treatment during life.
Got it.
Is that common
I think so. Yeah.
with people who choose not to eat meat?
hmm Yeah.
So potentially a source of humanely raised meat
hmm
could maybe be life-changing for others as well.
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
Find a local farmer.
Check out your local farmers.
We
Yeah.
can't pound that enough.
Yeah.
So you're not in the healthcare profession anymore. You almost kind
No.
of thought about it.
I thought about it, but I actually started working retail.
Yeah.
Yep. And I love it.
Nice.
hmm
It's a completely different career path.
Oh, it's so fun though. Yes.
Yeah.
Low stress.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be in charge of whether or not the infant gets a heart.
No,
Don't
not
want that
anymore.
kind of stress in my life.
Not anymore. Yeah.
That's fair. It has a place.
It does have a place.
But you are working yourself into and are at the just starting management.
Yes. Yep. So I just got a lowest level management position.
Hey, you gotta. I don't think that anybody gets above that without doing that.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
So it's a start on a path,
Yeah.
and I'm very excited for it. in the place I work, I'm working at the Ava Walmart, and the crew that we have, just the whole store is absolutely incredible. I love all my coworkers, and we have a really good time.
And so we've talked in the past about the community and the community that we have here in the Ozarks from our perspective.
Right.
Your perspective is a little bit different just because you have a full-time job off of the farm where we spend all of our time on the farm.
Right.
So your community is a little different than ours. Talk about your community.
Oh gosh. Everyone's always there for each other. We all say hi and talk and chat, and we have our regular customers that come in and they like to talk, and everybody likes to talk. But they allow us space for that, which is really cool. So we are able to provide excellent customer service. We're able to have really good relationships with the people that we work with, and just really truly making great friends. And they're more like a work family than coworkers to me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's encouraging, and it makes it fun to go to work
Oh, it's
whenever
so fun.
whenever you like the people there.
Yeah.
And it's like that.
Yeah. It's great.
It makes you want to keep going back.
I do.
Um.
And I'm in school again.
Oh yeah.
So Walmart is actually paying for me to finish my bachelor's degree.
So you competed in some kind of lottery to win that?
No.
Oh.
No.
That Walmart scholarship.
Yeah, so Walmart will pay for you to go to school through the schools that they partner with, and will take you all the way from a GED or high school diploma all the way up through a bachelor's degree. There's also trade schools you can go to.
I think this is a little known fact about that corporation.
Yeah.
We did not know that.
So you have to be full-time?
Nope. Any amount of time that you work at Walmart, you can get those benefits.
So you have to be like any job also?
Yes. Any job at Walmart, any amount of like part-time, full-time.
So if you do not have your bachelor's degree,
go work at Walmart.
Yeah, I guess if you're looking for education benefits, especially
For
or
free education.
if you're working there and didn't know, it is available to you.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That is so cool.
And I'm going through Purdue, which is a pretty well-known school.
Yeah.
And I'm going for business administration.
Nice.
So
how's it going?
Oh, it's going good. Accounting's kicking my butt, but other than that, it's going pretty good.
You didn't say you wanted to be an accountant.
No, I don't.
You just have to get through the class.
I do.
Yeah.
We'll pass. Yeah.
Well, you're just a different person than you were when you got here a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So on the podcast, we focus on food, freedom, farming. We've talked a bit about farming and food. What does freedom mean to you here?
I think that the freedom is huge. I'm free of not being like a slave to my food. That's huge to me. I'm free of 90 pounds of weight that I'm not lugging around every day. I've got freedom in my community. And as you guys have mentioned, the interdependence provides freedom.
Yeah.
And so like I've got support systems, huge, excellent support systems. And yeah, and I'm able to just kind of do my own thing.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool.
So you said something at the beginning that we got to dig into a little bit. You said I'm free from my food.
Yes.
Does that mean you don't eat?
No, I don't have cravings. I'm not thinking about constantly what my next food is going to be. It's not a thing for me. And I just live within the guidelines of what I know is healthy for me. And then I can just eat whatever I want within the guidelines.
So a little bit of a preview to our next week's episode.
Yes,
we'll talk a bit about our food journey.
Yeah.
But when you say you eat what's healthy for you, that means a low fat, medium protein, high carbohydrate, standard American,
Rice cakes.
follow the
No.
food
No.
pyramid, grains are on the bottom. That means you eat the most of those.
No.
No.
I eat a high fat, moderate protein, low carb diet.
I think by definition you would be a very low carbohydrate diet.
Very
Yes,
low.
very low.
Yeah, I think the standard American diet is somewhere around 300 grams of carbs a day.
I'm at about
if you
10.
if you get below 100, I think they consider that a low carb.
Oh, okay.
And so I like anything below, I think about 30 is a
Yeah.
very low carb. And
'Cause
so
I don't even
think
do a lot of veg.
I think you're on the low end, a very low
Yeah.
carb actually.
Yeah.
And w- w- that that does something inside our bodies, and
Yeah.
maybe like as we're thinking about next week, this can help us
Oh,
on,
yeah.
on what we want to
Guide
talk
our
about.
thoughts. Yeah.
But we absolutely understand what you're talking about
Yeah.
not being a slave to the food anymore.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a really
It is
really
freedom.
amazing, freeing feeling to
Yeah.
not be a slave to food. So
Mhm.
that's really
Mhm.
really cool, and we absolutely understand what you're talking about.
Yeah. And cutting out the sugar was huge for my mental health.
Mm.
Huge. I think that
Do you really think you can draw that correlation?
I do.
How?
Because that's when I changed my diet and everything, and then I was able to come off of all of the medications.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's cool.
Mm-hmm. It was a part of my lifestyle shift.
Well, was your doctor saying no, that has nothing to do with it, or was he encouraging
He
you?
was encouraging me.
Mm.
Yeah.
He thought that would be a beneficial thing to do as
Yes.
well.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then farming.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
good.
Farming is a hard thing every day, but it is a good thing
Yeah.
every day. That also, just the exercise.
Mm-hmm.
What else did the farming add to your as you restructured and rebuilt your identity with the food
Mm-hmm.
and the freedom? What did the farming, just the connection with the animals?
Yeah.
Or
And knowing where my food's coming from
Okay.
is huge for me.
okay, so just back
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah.
So when we first started, we were talking about hope and believe that the listener or viewer would see hope in the story. Insights and what it means for you.
Mm-hmm.
Hope.
Hope is huge. I lost hope for a while there, and that's really hard when you lose hope. But the hopeful part is that it's kind of within you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
What's within you?
hope.
Huh.
So
Okay.
it doesn't have to come from anything else. It's inside of you. And hope can change your life.
How'd you find it?
That's a really hard question. I think I was so desperate that I didn't have any other choice, really, if I wanted to keep going. And then was able to just completely turn it around with the hope. Yeah.
Any lessons learned from your journey that someone else might benefit from?
Believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems like it would be hard to do in the place that you were, as we were describing it, on
Mm-hmm.
on lots of medications, overweight, feeling worthless.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow though, you've said believe in yourself, and I found hope. Like somehow, let's dig deeper. How?
Mm-hmm.
How did you do that? How? Like where was it? You said it was in you, like,
Mm-hmm.
but there was a time there when you didn't feel like it was.
Yeah.
So like what happened? Like take us through a journey if you can from I am hopeless, worthless, overweight, right? Like that description to I have hope. Like
it was a slow journey. There wasn't like a light that switched. Like I made a decision. I'm like, okay, I'm going to show up for myself today. And then the next day I had to show up for myself that day. There's not enough for tomorrow, but I have enough for today. So just showing up, starting at that starting point and just showing up for yourself that day.
what does that mean, showing up for yourself?
Like caring about yourself and your well-being and making decisions that support that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So do you think that's first step in a journey of hope?
Yeah.
So somewhere in there you found like, or maybe even love for yourself?
Absolutely. Yeah, I love myself now. Yeah.
Do you remember how, if it wasn't a switch, was it truly just a decision?
Yeah, it was just a decision.
That I will start caring for myself, and then maybe from that, maybe I can like myself.
Yep.
And
I have value.
Yep. It didn't start with I have value, but it worked into it.
So step one was I'm going to take care of myself today.
Yep. I will take care of myself today and make my decisions and that support taking care of myself.
That seems to me like it would take a huge amount of strength coming from where you were to make a decision like that.
Yeah, I would say I would agree with that.
I think that's really cool.
Thank you.
Do you have any advice for somebody else who might be facing the same or similar adversities that you faced?
You can do it. It's hard. It's really hard, but it gets so much better. So much better. There is hope. Yeah.
So take somebody through that first step. Is it brushing your hair? I mean, seriously.
I think it's different for every person. There's no magic answer for that. That person just needs to decide what they need to do for themselves.
Got it.
Because
do you think inside your brain that when you're going through something like that, that
yeah,
you know what that thing is,
yes,
or you know what those things are?
I think so.
And if you could do one thing and then maybe another thing and then another, you get the ball rolling towards better care for yourself.
Yes. Yep.
Like when you're in the middle of the crap, do you know the missing pieces?
I did. I think I did. I knew what I needed to do.
You did?
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe everybody doesn't.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Again, I think that's amazing because of all of the medications that you were on.
I know.
It just put you in
your name.
I was very sedated.
Absolute state of brain fog.
Yeah.
It was
for you to be able to find that in yourself and somehow overcome the sedation to have the strength to make the decision in that foggy, sedated state to say, I'm going to care for myself.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It was slow. I remember the first time you laughed again. She has a really loud, when she laughs, like really belly laugh. It's a loud, obnoxious laugh. And that one time you did it and I'm like, oh my gosh.
She's back.
She's kind of, maybe she's back. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It was great. It took a long time.
Yeah.
It took a minute, but it was
a couple months.
Yeah, it was months.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was months.
And the reduction of a lot of meds.
Yeah.
Before you had your brain even had the capacity. It was so sedated.
Yeah.
So now you're living in the Ozarks, building yourself a life. You stayed with us for a little while. We can just kind of just put a little bow around this this story. You were living in
In this room.
And she moved out, and now it's not that anymore.
Yeah.
You called it the Spad
Land of
Land of
Spad.
Sorry.
For those of you that have read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah. So I always mess things up. It's fine. Anyway, you lived in here for a while. You hung out with us for a year while we gave you the opportunity to just get yourself strong enough.
Yes.
To where you could go, okay, I'm myself again.
Yes.
I'm ready to go be myself again.
Yes.
And just about a month ago, you put an RV up in the spot where our RV used to be. And now have your own spot in the world.
I do.
And your own little tiny house, which has been your dream for a long time.
Yeah.
To live in a small space in a, very just not, I guess you're a bit of a minimalist. So not a maximum situation.
Right.
So that's really congruent with your values.
It is.
And so you've got your own spot up there.
Mm-hmm.
You getting promotions at work. You're in college. You do your own life.
Yeah.
You are just out there.
Killing it.
Killing it.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So congratulations.
Thank you.
On your revival? Healing process?
Yeah.
It is a process.
Yeah.
You're not over it.
No.
I think life is a process, and not. I mean, we all every day you got to get up and show up and brush your hair.
Oh yeah.
All of us every single day.
Mm-hmm.
But the hope that you display is absolutely phenomenal. It's encouraging, contagious.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yep.
People hear your story, they see you, and they're just wowed by it.
Yeah.
And we couldn't be happier for you and proud of.
Thank you.
You're doing good.
Thanks.
Really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any last
You've done
words
some good stuff, kid.
for your journey of hope?
I think that pretty much covers it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you for this. Before we go it almost got me there, y'all. Don't do that. Let's do some Did You Know?
Okay.
Let's lighten this thing up a little bit. I'm
Did you
sure
know?
this will lighten it up, right?
Here we go. So
You'll like this Did You Know?
last weekend, I was looking at the news sites to see whether or not the nation was at war. And I came across a headline that I could not resist on Fox News. And it was, "Your diabetes risk may double if you eat this food twice a week, say Harvard researchers," by Melissa Rudy, published October 21st, 2023, Fox News. First line, "Just 2 servings of red meat per week can increase the risk of developing type 2 diabetes," a new study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition revealed. Swapping the red meat for plant-based proteins by comparison was linked to reduced diabetes risk, the study found. Those who consumed the highest amount of red meat were 62% more likely to develop type 2 diabetes compared to those who ate the least amount. All red meats drove up the risk. They quoted an author of the study, the first author, Zhao Gu, postdoctoral research fellow in the Department of Nutrition at Harvard, was the person that they quoted in the article. One of the things he said was, "We employed advanced methods to take into account possible errors in reporting dietary intake, and we controlled in detail for extraneous factors that might account for our findings."
Okay, so historically, when they do these studies, they have to ask people to do a food diary, write down everything that you eat. Outside of that, it's very difficult to do a long-term, multi-thousands of people here, take this, and over the next 10 years, please write down everything that you eat, drink.
Yeah, this
All of
study
it.
was 30 years.
It was 30 years long.
Yeah.
So it was 30 years long. And these people wrote down everything they ate for 30 years.
No, but they took into account
Oh, see, that's where their advanced methods come in.
advanced.
Yes. This is even a bigger lie than statistics.
I assume they used statistics.
Well, I'm sure they
to get
did
there.
use statistics to
So
get there, but
one
I'm
of the
sorry.
things-
Yes, go.
One of the things that we found was that particular school at Harvard, the postdoc wasn't the actual author of the study. The actual author of the study was Dr. Walter Willett, and he is well known for being the author of lots of different vegetarian or vegan studies. And in 2019, the Nutrition Coalition looked into one, Dr. Willett, based on one of his other studies, the Eat Lancet study.
Mm-hmm.
And their summary was that he has multiple serious potential conflicts of interest, which cast doubt on his ability to bring an unbiased viewpoint to the question of whether a vegan/vegetarian diet is preferable for good health. So he is a known supporter of, advocate for veganism or vegetarianism, to include the fact that he's written multiple diet books, vegetarian diet books. So his school at Harvard receives anywhere from almost $1 million to $1.5 million of funding from.
Anytime you see this type of research with this sort of inflammatory information, in my opinion, just my opinion, but when you see something that's so far over here, the first question should be, who's funding? Who funded the study, and who really wrote this up?
Yeah, so follow the dollar
Follow the
signs.
dollars every
On
time.
this one, it is food corporations that benefit from a vegetarian diet, as well as multiple pharmaceutical companies, actually.
So plant-based protein people?
For the
food industry
Yeah,
people?
for the food industry, yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then the pharmaceuticals, I can't imagine that they would be throwing money at a study that would put them out of business.
Right.
Right. Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense, would it? Business-wise.
Yeah. So
we are not here to advocate for any kind of diet. We're just pointing out crappy journalism.
Yeah, I think that was the thing that got to me the worst, was that an author at a news site that at least claims to be fair and balanced would grab a study off of the news reels, however they come through. They added
a few words,
3 stock photos from iStock, like didn't even go take a picture of anything.
Right.
They just searched online for 3 different stock photos of someone eating a steak and someone pricking their finger to do a blood test.
Red meat and diabetes.
And then threw it down as factual, when even just a little bit of investigative journalism would have
2 clicks.
It took
2 clicks.
I'm not an investigative journalist,
No.
right? And neither are you. And between the two of us, it took us, 45 seconds to find that the study was actually authored by Willett, and he's controversial as anything other than a supporter of vegetarianism or veganism. So, I mean, even just a little bit of journalism, I think, would have made a much better story, calling out Harvard and this particular school for publishing a study by an author with known ties to vegetarianism. Like, that to me would have been a much better story than just causes diabetes.
What if this is somehow tied to the whole, larger picture of them just kind of wanting to make meat go away? Not necessarily saying it's bad for you, but it just needs to go away.
Well, I think short answer, yes. This particular journalist, maybe not, but from an overall perspective, the get rid of meat certainly fits the bill for
Yeah.
what the progressives are wanting to do with the world. Eat bugs,
Yeah.
plant-based proteins.
Go check it out. The World Economic Forum Agenda 2030. Go check it out. Just Google it.
Yeah.
If you're interested in what some of the people who do have money in this world are kind of wanting, the direction that they're absolutely wanting the world to go, please just go to their website.
Yeah.
It's all written out right there.
Yeah.
And it's pretty plain. They put it in nice, pretty charts and graphs and everything. It's not very difficult to understand.
And I'm not
Or hard to
kidding.
find.
It really is eat bugs.
I know that really is their solution. And if you're into that, well, okay. No, mealworms for me. No, thanks.
The chickens love the mealworms.
The chickens love mealworms. I don't want to
Just
do that.
Thinking of the smell in Korea of them cooking
Those
those
bugs.
bugs on the street
They do.
sides.
They eat bugs and
Ooh,
some.
buddy.
It smells. It honestly smells like cat pee
It does.
when they're. So, yeah, junk journalism. I think you called it fake news.
I did.
Yeah, it was spot on.
Yeah.
Spot on. Can't believe everything you read.
That's the truth.
Dude, do 2 or 3 more clicks.
Yeah,
And just
right?
find out where the money's coming from. Please do not I can't say do not. Be leery whenever you're reading something that all of a sudden says eggs are bad again. It's like, dude, we've done this with the meat. We've done this with the eggs. That's like trying to get us to put on a mask again. Nope. You know?
Yeah.
Like you did it once. Fool me once.
Yeah, there is a website that I would recommend, and
Absolutely.
that's the Nutrition Coalition for Dietary Policy based on sound science.
Yep.
It is a non-profit, non-partisan educational organization. So
And there's
that's
no money.
one- yeah, that's one that would, if folks are interested in where to go with nutrition,
You'll put that in the show notes.
I could do that.
That'd be great.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good place to go check
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
They're looking at, like, one of the things that they do is try to influence the government on its food policies.
Yeah.
Because it
The food
really
pyramid has really kind of made us all sick.
it really matters. For one thing, you've got school lunches, you've got military meals, you have seniors meals, like all of these things that are supported
Right.
by the government have to follow whatever the government's guidelines are for food.
Mhm.
And when they're listening to junk science,
Right.
like this Harvard study, you end up with people sick.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Well, that kind of leads us into next week.
oh
A teaser for next week is we will not have a guest next week, but we will be here chatting, and we're going to discuss food and our journey with our way of eating, how we eat, why we eat the way we eat, the story, the backstory, the whole thing, and how it has affected us
yeah,
over the years.
yeah.
It's been a few years, and it has had a a big effect.
Spoiler alert, it's good.
Oh yeah, it's good. Yeah, I mean, the big effect is we have a whole farm.
Yeah, right.
That's the,
Yeah.
that we got all the way to, we'll grow it. Let's just go grow some.
Yep, for sure.
Well, thank you so much, Rebekah,
You're welcome.
for sharing your story. That's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
brave.
We talked last week about Michaela being brave as an 11-year-old showing up in front of the cameras. You displayed a lot of bravery as well, talking about things that aren't easy to discuss and
Thanks.
sharing the hard times to get to a message of hope. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
we really appreciate that. That's really, really huge.
You're welcome.
Brave.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you guys again for listening and watching. If you are continuing to enjoy it, if you have not already, please subscribe, hit the like button, and make a comment, especially to Rebekah,
Yeah.
about her journey. If you are, I don't know, struggling in a place where you are, please, I don't know, reach out to someone that you know that you can trust and would support you through that, and get the support. Don't be ashamed of the way that you're feeling in your brain, and go ask those people that you know would support you to get behind you in your journey to waking up and showing up for yourself every single day.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. Well, until next week. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.